Who wants to know how to fucking 1v9 mate in the jungle? Right, here we go. This game is against Evelyn, who I've coached. I think his peak is like, I don't know, 400 LP. I'm not actually sure, but yeah, he's probably like a master jungler. And in this game, despite me kind of running it down here, almost deliberately because I was tilted, we end up just kind of hard smurfing. So we're gonna get into like the moves I make because yeah, look. In Twitch chat, mate, I've got to fend off questions about bills and fucking runes all the time. But there's never a question like, why did you run here? Why did you start like this? Why didn't you do this? Those questions are way more important and honestly just LP, gaining. So I start red here because, first of all, like I'm against an Evelyn. I win any 1v1 before level 6. So I really just want to like run at her and put the pressure on, especially when I do have red buff. So we start red buff here. And I can tell on the minimap that she starts bot because I'm pretty sure she gets a leash. You can see the bot lane isn't in lane, Riven's in lane. So already we're kind of off to like a nice start despite dying because I know here that Eve is going to path towards her top side. Now, pretty much the way she like counters this is by vertical jungling or by trying to get like some sort of info that I am like doing like the invade. So if she puts a ward down on her blue buff or something like that, so we just do Krugs here, and after this, we're going to run down to Raptors, and I'm pretty sure as I'm doing Raptors here, I am looking like maybe I should be pinging Eve on her Raptors. I will be looking top, hopefully, because I'm pretty sure top was fighting, so after this, I'm trying to like figure out where I want to go. So hopefully I actually do it here. Yeah, so we kind of look top and see that the lane is like in the middle, sort of, and this lane is important to the game. Like Fiora against Riven is one of those like, you know, can go either way matchups. And then I see like Singe is really low mid, and then Ash's Hawk Shot hits Eve. So I've got 3 plays here. I could honestly dive mid and get a kill, like based on the wave, but it's kind of hard to dive Singe. And more than likely, like after that kill, especially if I get an assist, it just doesn't like seem as good as what I could do. I could also go top here, right? Because Riven is like on top of Fiora. But as soon as I see Eve here, and honestly, even if I didn't know Eve was here, I'm probably just going to sprint at her. Because any like jungler who isn't good is just going to do this and you can just exploit them. And when I say good, by the way, this is from me, I mean like challenger. Like any smart jungler here is going to realize like they've just got seen, Shaco has started at his red buff, and I'm weaker at level 3, so I should probably just relax and even just wait until I get some sort of info or knowledge on the map. Maybe she can do wolves here, like towards the middle of the mid lane, and keep herself safe, but it's difficult now to play the game for her, and what I do, instead of like, you know, just queuing over or running all the way around, you want to hit this blast cone so you enter the brush from here and they won't see you. So this is what I do, and now it's just about like staying in fog and trying to get this play off. So what I do, I want to cut off her safety route, which is going to be here, right, most of the time, especially given the way she was moving. So we just queue over, put the box down, and target champions only is really important here. Save your fucking E. Please do not E straight away. And the Ignite keeps the vision, so I actually, you know, the E goes through. Sometimes your E won't go through. Now, this is where the difference is really going to come in, and yeah, this is going to separate the men from the boys, the moves I do after this. Lots of people after this are going to do blue buff, so blue buff is correct at this point in time. But you have to understand that the map is changing always, and I just killed their jungler, who now has no flash. I still have red buff because it refreshed on me from hers, and she's kind of fucked, right? So I need to be able to play this game with like all that information in mind, right? So just because I get a kill here, it doesn't mean the pressure fucking stops. I'm also going to show you guys a game later or earlier that I played in this stream against a jungler who pretty much said he's never played against someone as good as me or like me before because he just couldn't fucking breathe. So this is the stuff I'm talking about. If you can win your 1v1 in the jungle, you're just going to like 1v9 games. So here, obviously, I have to go top, right? I have to go top here. I can't do blue buff because this lane is on a knife's edge, and I'm pretty close to it, so like I can queue over the wall and get Riven right. So as soon as this kill happens, you can see that 10 seconds has transpired from me killing the Eve to like what I'm doing now, to where I've actually like ran to. 10 seconds. So I could go to blue here, but what is like the actual play Eve is going to make out of base, right? She's going to run to her bot side, most likely anyway. Now, some people might run to their blue buff here, but if Eve runs to her blue buff, what's she doing after this? Because she's done her wolves. She's got 16 CS, right? So I'm pretty sure I finished her Gromp. So she's got 16 CS. What does she do after blue buff? Like crab? Is that it? So the actual pathing for her is kind of fucked if she goes to blue, right? I know that she's going to go to bot side here. Gank bot lane, do her Krugs, do her Raptors, I don't know, like do bot crab, maybe even think about taking my bot side. It's something bot, and because I'm stronger, and because I have a base here, I can just recall and win the game. So lots of people would have just been baited by this blue buff. Because buffs now as well, they feel as if they take fucking ages for Shaco early game, unless you have like 2 points in Q at least. So I just recall here, boots, longsword, and I just run straight back bot, right, buy some shit, and happy days. Now, of course, when I'm running down here, I ping, and my pings are right. Kind of makes sense in my head that she's going to be here. And I queue here because I know I'll probably have another one up. I actually don't know, so I should have queued earlier. So don't do this mistake, guys. So I actually did use a queue. But at this point, like, this is interesting, right? See this queue here? It's probably like 15 seconds to that point, so don't obviously like use your Q. Just save it here, because I could like go to the dragon pit and then Q over the wall. But yeah, the point here is like where I am on the map is 100% correct, and there's no counterplay for Eve. And you can see at the end of this fight, like I just know at this point the game is completely over. So yeah, this is all just like mechanical stuff, I guess. I want to like hit the Ezreal as soon as possible, pop my pot during this fight, either singe it. Here, like I know everyone's on cooldown, we're all on gold. The lanes have like been unattended to, I guess, especially mid lane. And at this point, the game should be just free. So at this point, what would you guys do? Like, are you going to do Crab? Are you going to recall again? Thinking about Evelyn? Like, what is the play here? Well, in my head, I can't actually remember what I do here, but I think it's just blue buff into a recall. Because where is Eve going to go? She might go to top crab, right? She might go to top crab, but most likely she's going to go Krugs, because she started there, right? So her Krugs, look at the time for me, 4:10, 4:15. Her Krugs should be up very soon if they're not already. She'll go to her bot side, right? Krugs, Raptors, and then anything after that. Like, I don't know what she's going to do after that. It's really, you know, we'll have to look at the map at that point to see what's going on. But here, I don't want to, like, fucking be farming my camps too much because, again, I've got a huge lead on her. So I'm only farming camps if there's, like, no play to make on the Evelyn, right? But because I actually do farm this. Yeah, so I actually think this is a mistake for me. I think after that, I should just recall and pretty much just run to top crab. I think that is, like, honestly GG. If I recall here and I get a serrated Dirk and I run straight to top crab, maybe even a blue buff, I just completely just wipe the map away from her. Like, yes, she can go Krugs, Raptors, she can take her Wolves and Gromp, maybe even I think of invading her blue buff, right? And I put a ward down or something like that on it after I take Crab. Maybe even I run to her blue buff straight away out of base. So actually the move here, I actually didn't fucking realize this, is actually just a recall here. Okay, so this is like an actual improvement I could have made. But clearing camps here is fine because this is a level 1 Gromp, I'm pretty sure. So resetting this and making it level 4, there's still some like reason to it, right? It's not a bad play I'm making, but it's not the best play. That's all we care about. So it still can be a good play, but if it's not the best play, that's all we care about. So doing Wolves here into a recall, what do we do? Okay, so the Blitzcrank is like running down here, so I think we might get a kill or something like this. I don't really care what happens at this point. There's a gank bot after this, but just watch, because this is still important. So I know here running out of base that Evelyn has taken my top side because we saw her on a ward. Okay, so the Evelyn was on a ward top side. And I know my Raptors have gone, and I also know my Krugs, like she might take them. But I'm guessing here that she's actually like taken her bot side, or hasn't taken her bot side, sorry. So I actually anticipated her here to go like to her Wolves Gromp to my top side, but she's actually taken her bot side here, which kind of like threw me off. It's probably bad for me, honestly. But even when I make these mistakes, right, we can still, like, easy win games. So pretty much here, there's no play to be made. So all I'm doing is just chilling, right? And when I see her on a ward top, I'm looking to make a play maybe, but I don't want to show on vision. So here, they would have actually seen me, which is really bad for me if that's pinked. Fuck me. I actually thought this was a good game, bro. Like, perfect. There's actual mistakes, but yeah, hey, like, whatever happens after this, like, we get the enemy jungle, it's like 04, 05, so there's still, we should still watch this. So here, like, my team knows I'm here because I'm pinging, right? I'm pinging on the way, I'm asking for assistance, or they are, like, there's a bunch of shit going down, and when I look at the minimap, I know that Zoe is kind of near my line. I also know that Ashe is near my line on the map. Remember, the map is going like this, right? Like, top left to bottom right. So, even though Zoe looks as if she's on my line here, just, you know, straight up and down, she's really not. So I have to wait a little bit until my teammates come here if, like, a fight happens, right? So as soon as the Evelyn is going to run here, all I'm going to do is just, like, pretty much wait. Even if her, like, sweeper is going, it doesn't matter, right? I'm just going to wait here and just bait her. So I don't win a 1v1 here because my box is not set up. That's why I don't win a 1v1. Because my box is not set up. If my box is set up, I can win. Now, if she smites it, then I probably have to run out. But again, this is just smart play, right? Like, I don't have to really do anything special here. Smite this, and then I can get out and maybe play like a base or something, 2 longswords. This is a little bit risky because I know their mid lane, a Singed, is missing. So I don't want to go anywhere near that brush. I just want to wait for my box here, which is what I do, and I end up taking these. And then we do dragon because I hit level 6. Evelyn here should know that our bot side is gone, right? So where's Eve going to go? Probably to my top side, right? And bot lane, maybe it's gankable, maybe it's not. But I've been on this side of the map for so long on Vision. If their bot lane dies, then they're just fucking drunk. Okay, so even though I've made like a couple of mistakes, you can see like the jungle diff here. This is all I care about when I look at students games. Like, I don't give a fuck, especially if you're playing an early game champion. You're always going to have opportunities unless you're playing against like 1500 LP junglers. So if there is no jungle diff, it's all on you, right? And if the enemy jungler has been in 10 kills, it's all on you. Now, of course, some games people really misplay and stuff, and that does come into it, like if they're actually fucking trolling. But for the most part, this is how it should go. I recall here. I could do Gromp, I could do Wolves, but I know that Evelyn's counterplay is Rift Herald. That's a really important thing in the early game these days. I don't want to give that up, so what I'm going to do is pretty much run straight here, and I actually say her on my Raptors. I thought she would have done Rift, and I honestly think she'd probably fucking get it. Maybe. So we end up getting her here, and well, not getting her, but we get her flash, but I think Fiora kills her in the end. So yeah, you can see Eve is dead for 6 seconds. Now, I could go to a Gromp, I could go to a Wolves, but honestly here, like, it takes way too much time, especially because I'm on Shaco as well. So I just do Rift here. No worries, just do Rift. Ask for a bit of help because I don't have my ultimate, so I do need a little bit of help here. We get Rift Herald. After this, the game is very simple if nothing else is happening, right? So what would I do if nothing else is happening on the map? If I'm the only champion on the map, what do I do? Pretty much just clear, right? Krugs, red, Raptors, all the way down to bot side, and I just play for Dustblade at that point, because I'll have enough gold, or be close enough to get it. Drop the Rift Herald down on bot lane. It's probably the most important lane here, like Ashe, Syndra. I mean, not really, actually. Riven's also, or Fiora, sorry, is also a really good lane. Mid lane, if I can one-shot it. But while I'm doing this, of course, I'm looking at the map. So as soon as I finish this, I see that Fiora is, like, chasing the Riven. There's a flash and stuff. So I go here. This is honestly bad camera work for me this game as well. I should be looking at the lanes while I'm doing stuff. Here I know Riven ward, so I'm just waiting, okay, to see what she does. Now, here, pretty much just hit the blast cone, right? Do not queue over. You want to be saving your Q here for dives, because your Q is just a gap closer, right? But also an escape. So if you can just do something without using your Q, it's just better, right? So I know that Riven uses her shield. I want to get there as soon as possible. Just queue in, but she dies. It's whatever. Put a box down, and we end up getting first tower. Maybe. I think Singe dies here. Yeah, so he trades 1-for-1 with Fiora. I drop the Rift Herald. And I've got so much gold here in Dustblade. And as you can see, like, while this is happening, the Eve is killing Syndra. And when I recall here, she also kills my Ashe in between the towers, you can see, just outside the tier 2. So out of base here, I know I could run the top side, right? Like, lots of people might, but I think I can catch her here. Like, if she does my blue buff or Gromp, she might not do them quick enough, especially if she doesn't have Smite. And lots of junglers will use Smite on enemy champions these days. So what I do here, I Q out of vision. She doesn't know I'm here. Syndra lands a stun. But even if Syndra doesn't land that, right, I probably solo kill her with a box down. I've got Ignite as well. Should be nice and free. And I'm guessing she used her ultimate bot because there was just a fight, right? Now, here I could, like, chase the enemy bot lane. Maybe I should look at Scuttle Crab here. But look at this. I've got such a juicy clear to the top side that it pretty much just solidifies, like, me being fed and just a force in this game, right? So after all this, I'm still looking around the minimap because you never know, there might be plays to be made. Here Fiora dies, so I'm just going to pick up the wave. There's some, like, weird fight here kind of thing. What is it? Yeah, like, they try to dive me, but they never can, right? Because Riven doesn't have ultimate. Maybe I could have outplayed them a little bit better. And after all of this, I shove, like, the next wave, and I'm really scared of that brush. You can see me kind of, like, hovering back a little bit, but I've got a Q, I'm not that scared. And when I go down here, I know they can see me without ultimate. I know they can see me half HP, and I think I'm worth a shutdown here. So this is just, like, awareness, right? I come down, pop the sweeper, and then I'm going to go like this because I know that Evelyn can easily think about doing this. And thankfully, we end up just getting, like, a free kill, I guess. So that's, like, the early game. Honestly, guys, I thought it was fucking, like, perfect, but there are actual mistakes here. But yeah, for the most part, this is Challenger jungling, and if you found this useful or whatever, yeah, leave a like. Any questions about it, comment down below. Any coaching, fucking, that will be in the links as well somewhere, and yeah, see you in the next one. Later.